How we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts here, and today I'm going to be discussing who I believe is the nightmare matchup for every current champion in their respective divisions. We're going to play around that a bit loosely when we get to the higher ones. But yeah, for this one, nightmare matchup technically doesn't have a definition. So I kind of came up with my own here, a contest that heavily implies one contestant is frightening to the other. It's kind of just mashing Nightmare's definition and Matchup's definition. As you can see, I did with the pronunciation. Don't know how Nightmare thing is supposed to be pronounced, but, match up, looks kind of similar. Let's get right into it. You know how we do. We got one per division. There's obviously only one chance. You get the fucking point. Let's move. Or start, rather, with Flyweight. Flyweight's interesting because there is a current title fight scheduled for next Saturday. That is going to be Pantoja versus Joshua Van, but also on that card is Moreno versus Taira. I think if Taira is able to beat Moreno, which I don't know if I'm going to spoil my pick or not, I think he has a good chance of doing so. I think Taira has the best chance out of anyone in this division to beat Pantoja. I think to beat Pantoja, you need someone who is somewhat capable on the feet. Taira, his striking is his head movement is so dog shit. Like, it's not dog shit. It's just, he's got a big head for flyweight, and he doesn't move it off the center line very well. You saw that a lot in the Royval fight. Royval. And that was a big issue earlier in his career. Edgar Chairez, if you remember that fight at 290, the one time this dude was outside of the fucking apex. He got dropped really bad by Edgar Chairez in the first round. But Taira, I think you need someone with grappling ability that can actually take down and affect Pantoja on the ground. I think in this flyweight division, one of the only guys that can do that haven't already fought Pantoja is Tatsuro Taira. He has one of the slickest, back-taking abilities in the division's history. He's nasty on the ground. He's got a really nasty back take. He has really good ways of finishing the fights. We saw that when he fought Hyun-Sung Park. He had back control on Brandon Royval for 2 straight rounds. Not 2 straight, not like 2 consecutive, but 2 rounds in that fight was just Taira having the back of Brandon Royval. And I know that's not saying much because Pantoja dominated Royval, but that was also a huge step up for Taira, given the circumstances. You look at his previous opponent was Alex Perez, who he's all right, but his submission defense has always been kind of tricky for him. A lot of his losses are via submission. Taira actually destroyed his knee in that fight. I think Taira has the grappling capability to kind of work with Pantoja instead of getting steamrolled like you see a lot of people do. Even Kai Kara-France, a guy that we always talked about as this great anti-grappler in the division, got absolutely fucking mauled on the ground by Pantoja in the Big 25. So maybe even this pick is wrong. Maybe Pantoja is just on a whole other level considering takedown defense, or not takedown defense, but just grappling in general in the flyweight division. I think we'll find out more come UFC 323 whether or not anyone can really nullify the takedowns of him. Even though we haven't seen Taira face an elite wrestler or grappler yet that's trying to take him down, a lot of his fights, it's him initiating the grappling sequences. I think Taira can do very well. I think he can do very well against Pantoja. I think he's one of the only guys that can kind of work with Pantoja on the ground. And his stand-up isn't that bad. Like, he hits pretty hard. We've seen that in the Hernandez and Hyun-Sung Park fights. He's pretty accurate, really big for the division, too. A lot of people don't really mention that when it comes to Taira. He's fucking huge for the division. He's got a massive frame, really long arms, really big back. He's got a weirdly huge frame for flyweight. Kind of like Michael Morales before the Sean Brady fight, how no one really talked about how big he was for the division, but he is. But yeah, I think Taira, he does well against Pantoja. Let's move to Bantamweight. I'll keep it short and sweet. I think Umar is the only guy that can really hold a candle to Merab Dvalishvili, and that's not saying much because I still think Umar would lose in a rematch to Merab. The only way Umar would be able to beat Merab is if he had improved cardio from the first fight, and from the Mario Bautista fight, I'm going to be honest, I didn't see it. I didn't see improved cardio. He's still huffing and puffing in the post-fight interview. He's still slowing down, having competitive striking fits with Mario Batista, having to actually out-grapple Mario Batista in that fight. Is he going to out-grapple Merab? I don't think so. Merab was actually the one that out-grappled Umar as that fight went on. You just need a certain odd to push, which made me want to pick. I think you need a really big heart, in my opinion, to beat Merab if you're going to beat him. Either that or you chin him, which O'Malley would be the one for the job, or Jan, but Jan hasn't finished anybody since fucking Jose Aldo, so that's not fucking saying much. Sean, we've seen that twice. He landed a good teep kick. That's about it. Like, Vinicius Oliveira, unironically, has like a weirdly good style if he keeps improving in his respective areas, because he's also kind of like a Merab where he utilizes his cardio to win his fights, but I think he's way too sloppy and he'd get mauled on the ground by Merab, in my opinion. Umar is the guy to beat Merab. Does he have the cardio? I still don't think so. I think he's the only guy that can really hold a candle with Merab over 5 rounds. I know Corey Sandhagen had competitive rounds with Merab. Even I thought he won 2 of the rounds, maybe. I know he won the first round pretty clearly, in my opinion. Round 2 was the round he got almost knocked out in. But Corey kind of held his own. He wasn't strong enough, though, and he didn't do enough. Like, Umar in the first fight was doing good work in rounds 1 and 2. He was winning round 5, and then he got clipped. It's just like, it's the visual aspects. It looks like he's getting bullied in there in moments. If Umar wants to beat Merab, he needs to not have those moments, and I don't know if he's improved enough to that point, based off the Bautista performance, where he almost got colded in. And Merab, this is the worst part about Merab, he's getting better. That's like the issue with it. He's like getting better at fighting, which kind of like is crazy. Because, like, like, he used to just be like, oh, this guy's got great cardio. This guy's actually putting combinations together on the feet. He's improving his wrestling capabilities. He's getting his, like, his bag when it comes to takedowns now are insane. His bag work when it comes to takedown attempts, it's beautiful. His trips are insane now. He's just getting better. So even, I don't know if Umar beats him in a rematch, but I think he's the only guy that can maybe do it. Maybe. Let's move to featherweight. Listen. I know what you're gonna say.
Why the fuck do you have this impulse grenade from Fortnite on my screen?
Listen, I know what you're gonna say. I still think that's still my boy! I still think John Silva's the guy to beat. Not the guy, but I think he is a telltale nightmare matchup for Volkanovski, in my opinion. Diego Lopez obviously could beat Volk. I think if you ran that fight back, I'd probably still pick Volk, if I'm being honest with you. I think Diego got kind of lucky against John Silva, if I'm being honest with you. The first round, Chris Weidman himself threw a spinning kick in boxing range like a dumbass. Like, that's just what happens, and he gets, 10-8'd in the first round because of it. But until the spinning elbow in round 2, John was beating the ever-living shit out of Diego Lopez. If that was Volkanovski in that second round, which, by the way, it wouldn't be because Volk has way better head movement, but that's beside the point, I think John could track down Volkanovski and knock him the fuck out. I think John has this weird capability. If he's, especially following the Diego Lopez performance, if he takes that loss and uses it to better himself, which I think he will, it seems like he's taken the loss well, he's looking to get back in there soon. I think John can make the right adjustments to bounce back really well in this featherweight division. He's short and stocky like Volk, but those are guys that you see, like, the only guy at featherweight that beat Volkanovski was Ilia Topuria. Knocked him clean out, and they're similar builds. Islam, not similar builds with Volkanovski, way bigger than him height-wise. I think John just has that capability on the feet to kind of match the freak of Volkanovski. I know Volkanovski's super technical, one of the best kickboxers in featherweight history. Honestly, people don't give him enough credit for how good his striking is, or his grappling. Dude, Volk is fucking awesome, dude. Anyone that tries to fucking, you talk shit about Volk, dude? You want to fucking know it? I think Volk is one of the best fighters in the entire UFC's history. He's top 5, in my opinion. I think he's probably... John, I would put above him. GSP maybe above him. Islam above him. So he's at least 4. All right, in my opinion. I think Volk is top 5 at least. If you have it outside of your top 5, you're fucking... You're crazy. All right, good save by me. I think John Silva does have the abilities, though, in an improved fashion, which I think he will, following the Diego Lopez performance. I think if you take his Diego Lopez version and put him against Volk, I think he chins Volk, in my opinion. I know that's crazy to say that. Diego just has a weird chin where he can get knocked out with ground and pound on the regional scene, but he can take literally the biggest shots off of John Silva and just eat it and tank it. So maybe Diego is just him, I guess. But I think John Silva does have the weird skill set where he's super unorthodox on the feet, blitzes in, humongous shots, just overloading. Like, God, I can't. This is crazy. Just a lot of combination work as well from John Silva. Big shots. He'll go one at a time, and then he'll throw in combinations. I think John Silva is very good. I think he's the second best fighting nerd, maybe even the best. I think people really underrate him now because of the Diego Lopez loss. A lot of people are hopping on the fuck John Silva, fuck this guy, he fucking sucks. He got caught. Shit happens. Like, bruh. Volk got knocked out by Ilia Topuria, and people are like, and then he beats Diego Lopez, and everyone's like, yeah! MMA is such a what have you done for me lately business and sport. What have you done for me lately? That's really what it is. John Silva loses his last fight. He fucking sucks. Carlos Prates, when he lost to Ian Gary, everyone was like, this guy fucking sucks. He's top 5 in welter right now. What happened? I think the exact same thing's going to happen with John Silva. Even though his loss was way worse than Carlos Prates, in my opinion. Because Ian Gary, I think, is a better fighter than Diego Lopez. I think Ian Gary's really good. I think Diego Lopez is kind of fluky in a way. But I love him. I love Diego. But I think John... I think he's a nightmare matchup for Volkanovski. I think he chins him in round 1 or 2. I really think this is what I think. Let's move to lightweight. I will smash him in. Not smash. I will take lights out round 1. I love that video with the impersonator guy. What is going on with my shoulder? My scapula's acting up. Arman. Not even that I think he's a nightmare matchup, but he's the best matchup you can make for Ilia, and I think he is the hardest fight for Ilia Topuria. In my last fight, I clickbaited you cunts. I clickbaited y'all with, he beats Ilia. I don't think Arman beats Ilia. I think he's the only guy in the lightweight division that could beat Ilia. I think Arman has a better chance of beating Ilia at 155 than Islam did. I'll be honest with you. I know that's probably going to be a hot take. I think Arman has a better chance of beating Ilia than Islam did. I think Islam's weight cut to 155 is way too drastic for him to take a fight against Ilia. I know that's kind of crazy to say that, but you see how bad he looked at 155 later in his career, outside of the Moicano performance, obviously. Damage-wise, Volk almost beating him. Dustin Poirier taking him tooth and nail to a 5th round. Arman, looking back on it, Arman probably would have beaten Islam at 311 if he wasn't injured or wasn't fat, right? Like, taking that performance, like his lightweight performance, Arman looked really fucking good against Dan Hooker, albeit. I think against Ilia, he's like the only guy that I could see maybe out-grappling Ilia. I don't think Patty could. I think Patty, unironically, would get killed against Ilia. I think it would be one of those KOs where it's like, it'll be one of those ones because it would be the first time he'd ever been chinned like that, where his like whole body would like fold over and you're like, oh my God! Arman... I still think Arman would get colded, though, by Ilia. Because I think Arman, if you hit him... I can't get the image of Joaquin Silva knocking this dude fucking silly in round 2 out of my fucking head. I can't... It was round 2 or round 3, I forget it. Arman ended up finishing that fight in round 3 via ground and pound, but... Is he going to out-grapple Ilia? I don't think so. I think people overrate Dan Hooker a lot, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people are going to overrate Arman now due to that performance. But, like, Dan, his takedown defense is not Ilia's. It just isn't. Ilya's a way better grappler. I know frame-wise
Hooker.
it's different. Dan's super tall while Ilya is the same height as Arman. But I think that helps Ilya take stuff takedowns. Because a lot of what Arman was doing against Dan was single legs. He got 2 single legs, and that was it. He just grabbed a single leg. Dan was just like, oh, let me pull a guillotine. And then Arman was like a gator rolling out of guillotine, which is fucking crazy, by the way. Arman could beat Ilya. He could. I don't think he does, though. I think he's the only guy at lightweight that could. Kind of similar to my Umar pick, even though we've already seen Umar versus Merab. I think in the lightweight division, there's only one guy that can maybe beat Ilya, and it's Arman Tsarukyan. And I still think that he gets chinned in round 1 or 2. But Arman does have, like, if Arman's able to get takedowns on Ilya, it'd be very fucking interesting, I tell you. Because I know Bryce Mitchell was able to take him down, but that was kind of like a weird performance from Ilya Topuria. Yeah, make this fight. Please, just make it. Let's move to welterweight. Listen. I know what you're going to say.
What the fuck is this zesty motherfucker doing on my screen? What is this zest fest?
What is this guy doing here? I think Michael Morales, unironically, is the nightmare matchup for Islam Makhachev at welterweight. I think he's a better matchup than Prates. I think he's a better matchup than Ian Gary. I think the big difference between Ian Gary and Michael Morales really is just pop at the end of the day. I think Ian Gary can match up well with Islam Makhachev. I think he can. But I think the big issue is, like, I think Ian Gary is just not, like, strong enough. He gets bullied in the clinch a lot, and I know that's saying much because Michael got bullied a little bit by Neil Magny for a round. Not even a round, for 3 minutes in a round. You know what I mean? Like, it's Neil Magny does great work in the clinch. That was also over a year ago when Michael was 24 years old. You know what I mean? Like, Michael is so fucking young comparatively to Carlos and Ian. I know Ian's not old. I know Ian's like, what, 27, 28? I think they're going to give the title shot to Ian Gary. I think Michael Morales has one. I really think Michael Morales is a genetic freak. He's genuinely made in a lab, an Ecuadorian lab. This is what we've seen what Russian labs create. This is what Ecuador makes in their labs, is just fucking kind of zesty, huge people. Fucking Michael Morales, dude. I think the stance would kind of give Islam problems. He's so, like, Michael is just, he's lying about his height 100%, by the way. Michael is for sure lying. He says he's only 6 foot. You're capping. Like, there's no way you're only that tall. With how big he looked next to Sean Brady, who's only 5'10", only 5'10". It's supposed to be a 2-inch difference. That was not a fucking 2-inch difference, I tell you. That was fucking insane. Michael is huge for welterweight. 1, he's huge for welterweight. 2, he rehydrates really well, too. That's another thing. On fight night, he weighed like 200 pounds against Sean Brady. He rehydrated 30 pounds. That's gross. Almost cause for concern. Maybe you need to investigate Michael Morales. But that's a different point. Michael's clean, dude. 3, hits like a fucking Mack truck. All right? He hits really fucking hard. 4, it's just like he's faced 2 grapplers in a row, and he did pretty well in the grappling department. I know he got taken down by Gilbert Burns. This Sean Brady performance was fucking insane. He literally, and that's the thing, is his legs were so far back, Sean couldn't even get in on the legs. He couldn't even get close. And when he did, Michael just, like, threw him off of him. Now, this could turn into a bit of like an Ngannou-Stipe moment in the first fight, where it's like round 1, Michael is just like using all of his physicality against Islam, kind of throwing him around, kind of landing big shots, and then he gasses out. That could happen, because we've only seen Michael go 3 rounds before twice in the UFC. He went to decision on the Contender Series 2 against Nikolay Veretennikov. But he went to decision with Max Griffin and Jake Matthews, which I don't know how he like if you look, he's finished literally everybody else. Dude, something about Jake Matthews, bro. So about Jake Matthews. Maybe that just speaks to the improvement of Michael Morales. Or maybe he fought Neil Magny, who he chinned with a spinning elbow, and then Gilbert Burns, who's like genuinely one of the most washed athletes on the entire roster, and then Sean Brady, who stylistically I just thought that Michael was always going to be a really bad matchup for Sean Brady. And I think the same thing here. I know Islam has way better striking capabilities than Sean Brady. I understand that, which is why this fight would be way more interesting. But yeah, I think that, Michael is he's a bit of a zest ball, but man, he can bang. Pause. I'm going to the next one. Middleweight. Like, listen, bro. This motherfucker, if any disease touches him, he's gonna fucking die. Like, bro, I think if Hamzat catches a common cold, I think he'll perish. Honestly, sadly enough. That's weird. He has 2 different gloves here. Whose arm is this, you think? Because that's the gloves that we use now, and the older ones. These are the new ones. This is when he fought Whitaker. So fucking stupid. What $1 billion company? No, but I don't think anyone's a tough matchup for Hamzat at middleweight, honestly. I think he beats everybody aforementioned. I know I said the same thing about Ilya, but Armin actually had a really solid performance against Dan Hooker, even though it's Dan Hooker. Nobody at middleweight scares me against Hamzat. He beats everybody. I kill everybody. But, dude, the cold. Listen, bro, you better fucking strap up. Lace up your bootstraps. Well, let's go. Michael Chandler action. But yeah, Hamzat, I think he beats everybody. Just wear a mask from time to time, bud. We move to light heavyweight. Alexis is weird because I don't think anyone beats him at light heavyweight outside of Magomed, but I don't think Magomed's ever going to get a title shot while Alexis is in the UFC for the rest of his career. Tom is probably, I know it's not in the division, I know it's heavyweight, and it's not even his division, but like, realistically, is Carlos Ulberg a nightmare matchup for fucking Alex? No. He's not. Is Yuri? No. He's not. Is Khalil? No. He's not. None of these guys are. You know what I mean? Magomed was the guy. He beat him. He beat Alex at light heavyweight. He did the unthinkable. And then in the rematch, Alex was like, oh, what if I put him on the back foot? And Magomed just actually shit his pants. He was like, oh no. brother, you need to get back. Just David leg, brother. Tom Aspinall, I think, would probably beat Alex. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows, bro? Who knows? Cyril Gahn was lucky putting it on Tom Aspinall, bro. No, but I think Alex's nightmare matchup is not even his division. So, if he moves up to heavyweight, I think Tom would beat him. I think Jones would probably beat him too. Maybe, I don't know. Alex is so weird because he just has that power that you can't really count him out of anything. But, like, at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know. The grappling is always the interesting part. But then again, it's like, Alex is good. Dude, maybe Alex beats Tom Aspinall, Am I low-key pseudoing myself? Am I reverse psychology myself right now? Yeah, Alex beats Tom Aspinall and John Jones, now that I think about it. Bruh. Like, dude, this is fucking pretty obvious, bruh. No. Let's move to heavyweight. Tommy boy. I'm not going to put Gahn. I'm not going to put Jailton Almeida. I'm not going to put Volkov. I'm not going to put fucking Sergey Pavlovich.
Why do I low-key think Waldo Cortez Acosta beats him? Like, why?
why is this dude fucking fraudulently made me into a fan of him over these past 3 weeks? This dude fucking, look at his moves, jeez. Fucking hanging over a cliff, but why do I think Waldo is like a bad matchup for Tom Aspinall now? Like, why is this dude like randomly just gotten knockout power? Waldo didn't used to hit like this. He didn't. Like, he knocked out Lucas Dresky, albeit and on that UFC Singapore card with Korean Zombie and Max Holloway. Yeah, he did that. He has never used to hit like this. Ante D'Elia and Shamil Gaziev back-to-back is fucking crazy. Chinning them both in the first round. Why do I low-key think this guy fucking will Looney Tunes win over fucking Tommy Boy in a weird-ass way? Why do I think this now? Why is Waldo Cortez... Why is Salsa Boy... Why is this fucking blob made me a fan of him? I hate Waldo Cortez. Why am I like, dude, maybe Waldo actually is the guy. Maybe Waldo is the guy to fight. We used to make memes. We were like, dude, we're going to have to sit here while fucking Waldo Cortez Acosta gets a title shot. He's one fight away now. Arguably might just get one. Like, weirdly enough, they'll just be like, fuck it. Gon's pulling out fucking Waldo. Go in. Waldo would just be like, and then throw a softball pitch of a fucking punch. Fucking Tom Aspin, I was like, fucking, I got eye poke, I got fucking knocked out, knuckle deep. Nah, but Tom would fucking destroy Waldo Cortez. I'm just doing this for fun. But realistically, Gon is probably the hardest matchup for Tom Aspinall. That's the video. If you like the video, give it a like. If you want to see more content like subscribe. Leave a comment down below what you guys want to see next. Who do you guys think are nightmare matchups for every current champion in the UFC? There's nothing this weekend. Next weekend, though, is UFC 323, last pay-per-view of the ESPN era. Be there or be square. I will get another video out for you guys on Wednesday. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.